For the Russian Federation, the Kerch Bridge was the object of major defense investments from the very beginning, but this still does not guarantee its absolute invulnerability. This was stated by Viktor Yagun, Deputy Chairman of the Security Service of Ukraine in 2014 to 2015 and a retired Major General of the SBU in a comment to Radio Liberty. He noted that the Russians had protected him well, having amassed everything they could. There's a naval component, an air defense component, and an anti-missile component. Large units were deployed, so in their opinion, the bridge was truly protected. Yagun said, however, as the expert noted, even with serious defense measures, the possibility of the bridge being damaged cannot be ruled out, especially with proper preparation and secrecy of the special operation. Yagun believes Ukraine succeeded in hitting the bridge thanks to a creative and unconventional approach. However, he noted only a very limited number of people knew about the planned strike. This allowed us to avoid information leaks and carry out the operation as quickly as possible, even though its preparations took almost a year, if not more, Yagun said. He explained that the bridge is a key supply route for Russia, so even partial damage reduces the Russians' ability to fully utilize it. A significant number of military personnel are concentrated on the Crimean Peninsula, and some naval components remain. They need to be supported somehow. Therefore, disrupting this logistical activity significantly impacts the enemy's capabilities, Yagun elaborated. He expressed the opinion that the destruction of the Kerch Bridge would create a vacuum in Russian logistics and would seriously complicate their capabilities in Crimea. The problem isn't just that the bridge might be shut down. They don't have the capabilities Ukraine had. They don't have a ferry or the landing ships they pulled from all the navies. All of this combined is a huge problem for them, the expert believes. He suggested that the logistical situation in Crimea could significantly worsen and that Russia would be unable to solve this problem. As Roman Parkanov, Deputy Commander of the 14th Separate Unmanned Aerial Vehicle Regiment, noted, in order to destroy this bridge, the defense forces first need to destroy Russian radar stations and weapons. According to him, Ukrainian troops will definitely attack the bridge connecting occupied Crimea with Russia, and this could happen, he assured. Every day, this year, next year, it will definitely happen. The military man explained that the objective of attacking the Crimean bridge had been in place since the first day of a full-scale war. But he said that this required weapons, and this applies not only to Ukrainian long-range UAVs, such as the Lyuty kamikaze drones. Moreover, the deputy regiment commander noted, it is first necessary to destroy enemy radar stations and weapons that target Ukrainian drones. We're working on this. Sooner or later, there will be strikes on the Crimean bridge and other targets in Crimea. They've truly turned Crimea into an unsinkable aircraft carrier. Crimea is the most protected territory and the most militarized, Parkanov said. As previously reported, Western security and defense analyst Michael Clark suggested that Ukraine may be preparing a new attack on the Crimean bridge. He stated that the Ukrainians love surprises and recently attacked a number of radar stations and air defense facilities in Crimea. He added that given that Ukraine now has the means to strike deep, an attack on the Kerch Bridge is entirely possible. Retired Captain First Rank and former Deputy Chief of Staff of the Ukrainian Navy, Andriy Ryzenko, explained the circumstances under which the Ukrainian armed forces might destroy the Crimean bridge. He believes that the Russian air defense system on the temporarily occupied peninsula is a barrier to such an attack. If the enemy's radar stations can be destroyed and the launchers disabled, an attack on the bridge will become possible.
Long lines of vehicles built up at the Croatian-Bosnian border on Sunday as the European Union's new digital checks requiring eye scans, facial imaging, and fingerprints came into force. According to Associated Press, the EU has introduced its entry and exit system, which intends to create digital records of all incoming non-EU passengers into the so-called Schengen travel area. The system will register personal details such as eye scans, facial imaging and fingerprints for all non-EU passengers entering the 29 Schengen countries, including 25 in the EU, plus Switzerland, Norway, Liechtenstein and Iceland. The move is aimed at better controlling immigration and identity fraud, but also to pinpoint overstayers inside EU. The border post at Stara Gradiška is the main crossing point between EU member and its non-EU neighbor Bosnia for all trucks and heavy traffic. The checkpoint reports millions of travelers per year, and the introduction of the new checking system has raised fears that waits at the border could last several hours. On Sunday, when the new checking system came into force, there were long lines of traffic waiting as people lined up at machines to be scanned. Honestly, this is ridiculous. They created such a traffic jam, it feels like it's the summer season traffic jam, it's really unexpected, said Bosnian national Garo Feratovic. Border police said that during peak hours they planned to use mobile scanning devices which would allow passengers to stay inside their vehicles. Changes will be made gradually across the Schengen area, with the EES expected to be fully operational by April 2026.
Pogledajte u kameru. Postavite desnu ruku na čitač.
Ne znam, malo nas usporilo, a nismo u toku ni o čemu se radi.
Postavite desnu ruku na čitač. Stanite uspravno. Postavite desnu ruku na čitač. Hvala. Pogledajte u kameru. Stanite uspravno. Postavite desnu ruku na čitač.
Policijski službenici, znači za graničnu kontrolu, voditelji smjena, policijski službenici za nezakonite imigracije, svi su prošli specijaliziranu obuku, te su znači spremni za ove stvari, znači proveli smo već duži niz mjeseci, provodimo tu obuku. Realno je za očekivati da će vrijeme zadržavanja na graničnom prijelazu biti nešto duže, obzirom da sada putnici, odnosno obveznici koji podliježu samoj uredbi, trebaju izaći sad iz vozila kako bi im se izuzela biometrija, odnosno slika lica i otisci prstiju, znači 4 prsta desne ruke. Ono na što smo mi spremni je, znači, i budemo poduzeli sve odgovarajuće mjere i ranije što taktički, što tehnički, što operativne u onim vršnim najvećim opterećenjima, kada znači, policijski službenici imaju znači, mogućnosti mobilnih specijaliziranih uređaja s kojima znači, mogu izuzimati biometriju i kreirati cijeli dosje, a bez da pritom putnici izlaze van iz vozila.